make sure that we have test containers up and running inside of test and then Java, this green folder, let's create a new test. And for this, let's just have the default package as always. So com.amigos code. And this package right here that I'm creating within tests should mirror your top level package under main Java. So com.amigos code. This is also com.amigos code. Cool. Now in here, right click, new Java class, and let's say test containers and then test. Cool. At this point, let's have a new test method. So here I'm just going to press Control and then basically generate test method, or you can right click and then generate and then test method and then JUnit 5. And you can see that we have an empty test. Now the reason why I do have given when then is because, so if I go back and then right click, go to generate, and then with your arrow on your keyboard, click on the right arrow, edit template for JUnit 5. And you can see that basically JUnit 5 test method, I've just added given, so as a comment, when, and then in here, which means that when I create a new test through generate and then choose JUnit 5, you can see that we have given, when, then. So let's just give this a name. Let's say can and then start and then Postgres and then DB, just like that. Now, first we need to initialize the Postgres container. So to get the Postgres container is as follows. So we say private and then static. And if I put this full screen, command 1, and here we need Postgres and then QL and then container, and choose the one from org.testcontainers. So this guy here, and in here, let's just use the question mark in here. And we need to basically give it a name, and also let's make this final. So public static final Postgres container, and in here I'm going to say equals, and then new Postgres QL container. And at this point, we can give it a tag. So here, let's just say Postgres and then column and then latest. So this right here, so latest. So this is Postgres image, the Postgres image in here. Now, if I show you within Docker Hub, so here, this is the official documentation for Docker Hub, and this is the Postgres image. And you can see that you can specify all of these tags. So you can say 15, latest. This might be different by the time you watch this video, but latest will always be present, and it will give us the latest version of Postgres. Now, everything that we done so far should work with any version of Postgres. That's why in here I've said latest. Let's go back to IntelliJ, and I forgot equal in here, and we need to say now dot, and this is using the builder pattern. We need to say with, and we're going to give it a database name. So database name, let's just say amigos code dash DAO dash unit and then test. And let's also give the username. So username will be amigos code, and the password, so password will be password, just like that. And there we go. So now we have this container right here, and you'll see this in action in a second. I'll show you how this is working. So now that we have this container right here, we have to annotate this class with two things. The first one is this container itself. So let's just say at and then container, and make sure that this comes from org.testcontainers.junit.jupyter. This is why we had to bring in the JUnit Jupyter from test containers. And then the second thing is we have to annotate this class with at and then test and then containers. So again, from test containers.junit.jupyter. And we are good to go. Now our test in here, so given, when, then, so we basically don't need this for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to say assert that, and then basically click on this bulb, and then press Option, and then Enter, and import static method. And the method that we want is this one here. So assertions.assert that from org.assertj.core.api. So make sure that you use this exact same one. If I press escape, so in here, I think if you press the method here and then go to the bulb, you can also say import, and make sure that you import this one right here. Assertions.assert that from org.assertj.core.api. And we're going to assert that the container, so PostgreSQL container dot, and then is, and then running. So we could test on is created, is healthy, and whatnot. So let's just basically assert on all these three actually. So is running dot is, and then true. And finally, let's just duplicate this once, and let's also check that is, and then created. So is, and then created. Cool. We could check other things, but for now, this is sufficient. Cool. Now that we have this test right here, next let's run it, but also inspect this container right here, which will be created for us.